You're welcome to Puff Television, Mr. Dada, a member of the
thank you very much.
PDP from Idosi local government in Ekiti State. We're going to discuss with him the situation of the PDP in Ekiti State since the governorship election of 2022. Mr. Dada, how do you see your party before and after the election of 2022?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here on the general well-being of PDP as a whole. Well, basically, for PDP, there have been mistakes that have been made in the past, and not that we haven't had some wins also as well. But you know that, when you have a government in power, a particular party in power, there is every tendency that people tend to have soft spots for such party in government, most especially in an agrarian state like Ekiti State, where the main thing is that you're a civil servant or you're a politician. So, but the fact that, PDP has been able to maintain a strong base, they've been able to maintain our strong members and our stakeholders over the years, despite not being in power, actually shows that PDP is a party that is full of people with strong principle. And that shows that we can actually hold our people together, regardless of whatever affiliation within the party. Then it portrays the fact that PDP has a hope, for a better tomorrow in our state. It's in a very strong state. It is currently constituted. There is no division in the party. And, we are all united against every member of the party who may be willing to engage in any anti-party, and that will not be tolerated in our party any longer. So we remain strong and we remain formidable.
How did the defeat of the PDP, or the third position that the PDP secured in the 2022 governorship election, hit you?
Nobody likes to fail. We all like to succeed. But one thing that is very important in this life that we can't do without is also failure. Failure, in a way, is also part of success, because if you don't ever fail, you can't ever succeed. Well, the defeat of my party in the last election was really very devastating. PDP is a known brand and is a very strong brand. And everybody believed that because of the imprint of projects that had been embarked on in that state by PDP, we had hoped that would ordinarily make us get votes and people come out for us. But unfortunately, there are divisions in the party. And what brought about the division was the fact that, the outcome of the primaries that was not well managed. And, some people felt, they were shortchanged. Some people felt, their delegates were not allowed to vote. And because of that, there's no justice. And after the primaries, maybe some elements felt that, maybe they already had a predetermined arrangement to make the party lose. So they didn't bother to reconcile anybody. They just felt, I can just go into the election alone and win. But mind you, nobody wins an election with a divided house. We also happened even in 2023 when, in the 2023 presidential election between the likes of Wike, the articles of this world and all. We also saw what the outcome was. So nobody goes to the war divided. We need to go to a war united. And when you go to a war divided, these are the consequences that you got to face. And that was what we saw in the last election in Ekiti State. Trust me, that won't happen again. And I can assure you, in 2026 in Ekiti State, PDP is not only going to win the governorship election, we're going to win all our elections at all levels, from the assembly to the states, by the grace of God. So what transpired in 2022, that had become a thing of the past, and we have all agreed to move on and, as one, going to the next election.
At the primary election venue, we were aware that the former senator, Mrs. Olujimi, made her stand known that she will not continue to be a part of the process. She withdrew. And after the primary election, former Governor Segun also moved out of the party. Where were you? Were you among those who remained in the party, or were you in the Olujimi group or in the Segun group as at that time?
I'm a PDP member. I've been a PDP member, since year 2000. And, some people will say, I'm a politician, all right? But basically me, I am not a core politician. I have a second address. I'm a technocrat in politics. And our own duty is to make sure that good governance is given to our people and by making sure that they also feel the effects of that good governance. So let me be very, very open to you. I have never been a member of any group in Ekiti State. I've never belonged to any group. I've been a freelance person, and I've always, aligned with virtually all the groups. And I'm the kind of person that say things the way they are. I do not add my feelings. I will not go to A and tell A, no, this is what B has said. We have to be very careful. I do not belong to any group. But more importantly, I was also not a delegate, but I am a strong supporter of PDP, and I'm also a member of the party. And at certain level, I have given my support to the party, both financially and otherwise. So we have remained member of this party, and will continue to remain in this party till the end of time. But going back to what happened at the primaries, yes, former Governor Shegoni staged a walkout. Senator Olujimi also staged a walkout because they were not pleased with the way and manner they went about the primaries. And I was particularly at the venue of that primaries, and what happened there was purely prearranged, and nobody ever envisaged that such things could happen. But like I said, after a political contest, either a general election or a primary or something, there is no way that there won't be members that will be aggrieved. In 2022, I particularly worked for PDP. In fact, I was a member of the campaign council. Not only that I was a member of the campaign council, I was part and parcel of those that wrote the manifesto of the governorship candidates for that party.
That's
PDP.
Bisi Kolawole.
Bisi Kolawole. Yes. Okay. We were 3 in number, and I can't start to mention names. We were 3 or 4 in number. So I was part of those people that had sleepless nights and put together the manifesto. And these manifestos were so elaborate, were so exhaustive, were so sophisticated and fit for purpose as far as Ekiti economic landscape is concerned. So I was a party to that election, and I knew what most of our people who were aggrieved, they went to SDP, but we remained in the party. And Senator Olujimi too was aggrieved, but she remained in the party. And probably, towards the end of the campaign or something, when the campaign, came to an end, I think she also supported the party. But the extent of her support is what I cannot say in the exact. But like I said, from the beginning, aftermath of any contest, there will always be dispute. And those that were aggrieved at the end of the primaries, I really do not fathom the reasons why the party did not take the step to reconcile all of them. If they have all been reconciled, and if the will of the people has been allowed to stay or to take place, probably PDP will be in government today. But we give God all the glory, and we strongly believe that, going forward, PDP, they've learned their own lessons, and I'm sure they will do things right going forward.
When you talk about the will of the people, what did you observe in 2022 during the primary election? What's the will of the people?
I used to hear, Shegoni was also somebody that people loved, and they wanted him to, he should get the ticket. And I know that the former governor too, Ayo Fayose, was also supporting BCK. And you know that Shegoni just nearly came to the party there, and they felt that, you are just coming. But you see, because Shegoni is somebody that people see as someone that is protected, and is also seen as somebody that is also very gentle, like this kind of Omoluabi kind of a person. And they believe that he's also a listening leader. So quite a number of people wanted him to pick the ticket. But it wasn't the case, because the governor has an interest, and he wanted his own man to be the candidate of the party. But what is also very important is that the party is supreme in whatever it is that we do. So despite the fact that, people wanted Shegoni, but he did not get the ticket, but we had no choice than to support the party and ensure that, we work for the party, which we did wholeheartedly, even without getting a dime. All through the party, I'm not sure I collected 1 kobo from anybody, not even a Fayose himself. I don't even think I even met him one-on-one all through the campaign. But we did our job, and we did it so perfectly behind the scene. And that is all I've been doing for PDP.
You did that job faithfully, believing that the party would win, even when there was a large exodus of the Shegoni people out of the party. What gave you the confidence that the party was still going to perform well in the election to the extent you worked for them?
I worked for the party. You know, when you go into a war, it is either you win the war or you lose the war. But when you win the war, yes, it is victory for everybody. But when you also lose the war, it is also a lesson, because nobody goes to war without being prepared. And if you feel that you are prepared and you're just going to put in the best in you, and your best was not enough, and you lose out, it doesn't mean that you have failed. And it doesn't mean that you do not have a future. All right. You can still come back to the same fight, and, I'll be the winner. I have a feeling that we're going to win. But, it turned out the way, because I saw that the wave of Ishegoni was just too much. And, we're also dealing with a party that was also in power, who also controls the state treasury. So you deal with that. So it is a tough situation for us. But even at that, I know for sure that with the current happenings in Nigeria, with inflation flying over the bridge, with about almost 400% inflation in the last 1 year, of which Ekiti is not an exception, I know that PDP will do well and very good in the next election in that state. And I am also aware of the fact that we have learned, because there have been meetings among the stakeholders, of which myself have been involved as well, on the side. And I'm sure that we've learned our lessons from our past mistakes. And I'm sure those will be our guiding principles going forward. So we might have failed in 2022, but in 2026, you can rest be assured that you will not fail. And that's a fact.
Now, do you think, to what extent would you agree that the seed of the failure of the PDP was not just sown during primary election, but from the delegate period, when local government delegates and ward delegates and state delegates, I think congresses were to be done, and they were not properly done? What is your own position on this?
Let me just be very open to you. I'm an insider in the party to a very good extent. There's some information that I have, and there's some information that I also will not have. But I don't like ESA. I don't like to, but I know for a fact. You just said it yourself. Because I don't want to say things here that, if I will hear and say, I don't want that. And I don't want to be quoted wrongly. So, but one thing that is very certain as at then was that Fayose happened to be the current most senior political officer in that state at that point in time. And by the virtue of his position, he is supposed to be leader of the party. And when you talk about leader of a party, if any decision is going to be taken in that party at any level, he is going to be involved. And when you already have an interest, becomes the candidate of the party, and you with so much influence, like having the structure of the party in your pocket, you can go to any lengths to make sure that your candidate, emerge. So you cannot take away the fact that due to the level of influence that Fayose will on the party at that point in time, the possibility of him to have influenced certain decisions that contributed to the emergence of his candidates, and also to the dissatisfaction of other interests in the party. All right. Some decisions, might probably have taken place at some level. You cannot take that far away. Fayose has an interest, and his interest is that his candidate must emerge. So how he wants to go about making sure his candidate emerges is left to him. All right. So Fayose had done what he wanted to do, and the party has lost so woefully. And people have realized that we cannot continue to do the same thing the same way and get a different result. Things have to be done differently this time around. And that is what the the party is doing. The party is putting its house together. The party is ensuring that all their group members are pacified. And they're also making sure that those that are moved to SDP come back to the party. Because when you look at the people who were in SDP then, they were majorly about 95% of them are PDP members. So if we had combined the vote of PDP and that of, because some people were also very hungry that, oh, people will not unite and fight this election. Okay, let me go to APC. So some people deliberately, out of annoyance, they neither joined the PDP to prosecute the election, nor joined the SDP to run on a parallel, on a third force. And they went to APC. So if all these people, if they've come together, I am sure PDP will be in power today. But like I said, we have realized our mistakes and we are doing the needful to ensure that starting from the state chairman, we get it right. All right? Going to the election, the primaries and all, I believe once we start well, I'm very sure we'll handle it by God's grace.
You said Fayose had done what he wanted to do. Are you saying he actually planned that the party should fail at the election?
I do not know if he had planned to fail, all right? But we failed. How did we get there? How did we get there? You know, you had primaries supervised by a current governor, your former, and the man came and the man was behaving like an umpire, like somebody that has, you know, a predetermined, objective. The aggrieved candidates who wanted to contest, who was also contesting, like, I think all of that have gone. But what I also saw in that primary was the fact that all of those that lost, from Senator Lujimi to Segun Oni, I think Eleka too contested, all of these people will have come together as a strong force against Fayose's candidate. You cannot be divided. And that's the same thing we are still telling them today. The same Fayose that was campaigning that is going to be bow for second term, we do 8 years, anybody that's not satisfied can go to hell and do whatever that he likes. Fayose is still a member of PDP. Fayose has not been expelled from that party, despite all the anti-party activities, because it is only your word that can suspend you or that can expel you from the party. And today in PDP Ekiti, we have more than 4 chairmanship candidates. We have a Funsho Ayeni from Ikoli. We have a Komolafe from Ikere. We have one show Wumi too. And we also have a Shegun Adewumi from Ilejemeje. 4 of them contesting. And you will find out if care is not taken. First, you will just go and bring one candidate from somewhere and we just defeat all of them. The same mistake that we made that cost PDP Okeayoba in 2022, when all the candidates that splitted one another's votes will have come together and make sure that they defeat Bisi Kolawole, the same mistake that we made, if care is not taken, we will make the same mistake in the Congress. Yeah, just of the chairman. And you will see that if Fayose will just creep in from, Fayose will just creep in from nowhere and it will just hijack the structure of that party. And what happened in 2022 will repeat itself. But I strongly want to believe that as far as PDP is concerned today, we have learned our lessons and you can be rest assured that we will not allow that to happen as stakeholders. And as long as we remain stakeholders in that party, we will not allow what happened then to happen now. Because it is not easy to remain in opposition for 12 years. If Fayose has supported a Bisi Kolawole and Bisi Kolawole has failed, if Fayose has supported an Eleka and Eleka narrowly missed the trophy, I think it is now time for him to leave Ekiti people or PDP people to choose themselves and choose freely and allow them to pick somebody that is popular among them to lead the party, and not only to lead the party to glory, to victory. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
So you admit that there is a great fear of Fayose still hijacking the structure of the party through a process of an election of the next chairman.
Yeah, for someone like me, I know Fayose and I know how he plays his politics. there is still fear. But you see, when you have an enemy and you don't know his attack strategy, it's a different ballgame entirely. When you have an enemy, the same enemy that you wake up with every morning, you sleep with every morning, and you know that if this person is going to do something against you, you know how he's going to come about his strategy. That's the kind of person Fayose is to us. Currently, in the state ESCO, there is no single person that is working for Fayose. Although I will not say that people are not with Fayose or people are not working with Fayose currently. But what I'm saying is that even as it is today in that state, Fayose has his own supporters. And that's a fact.
Inside the PDP.
Even somebody who has been accused of a murder or somebody who is an armed robber also have supporters. So there's no way you can say that the former governor in a state like Ekiti will not have a supporter. It is not possible.
Certainly.
But what we are saying is that whoever that is supporting Fayose should realize that Fayose does not have an ambition to become the state, to become the governor of that state anymore. And as long as we keep supporting Fayose to strangulate the party in the state, we are just, we are just doing ourselves a serious harm. And we are dragging the ambition of over 1 million people in that state in the mud. So we need to be united, and we need to make sure that we protect the future and the fortune of that party collectively. Thank you.
Now that Fayose has come back to Ekiti and is talking to members of the party across local governments and even promising to give money to those who will want to contest the Congress, at the Congress, what do you have to say?
Let me even start from the fact that he said he will give money. Has he given the money? Have you seen somebody that said, oh, we have collected the money? All right? Even though we are not hungry, we don't need his money. He was a governor for how many years? He was a two-term governor. Can he point to 20 of his former 8 commissioners or House of Assembly members that are still his core loyalists today? Leadership is measured by the amount of lives you are able to impact. Leadership is not measured by the number of mouths you are able to feed. It's about impacting life. Feeding somebody is different from feeding somebody. All right? Mm. Impacting somebody's life is different from feeding somebody. So, but let's even put that aside. But what we are saying is that if he's saying that he wants to give the party 50 million naira, there is nobody in Ekiti today that will collect that money for Fayose. Even the state chairman cannot try.
How are you sure?
I am telling you a fact. I'm telling you a fact. If somebody had received that money, all of us will have heard. There's no 50 million naira will enter Ekiti PDP today that before, even if the money enters the party at this hour that I am having a conversation with you, I'm sure before 10 o'clock, everybody will get to know that the money has entered. Where would they put that kind of money? Is it going to be given in cash? Or is it going to be transferred? Fayose came to Ekiti, he gathered people, they had meetings. But one fact I will tell you is that majority of the people that he gathered gathered in those meetings are APC members. Fayose is more of an APC person than a PDP person. There's nobody in PDP today that will follow Fayose. I am telling you a fact. If you don't know now, you know. So if he has come, he has told people, he's giving us 500 million, he's giving us 5 billion, he's doing that. Nobody cares about that. We are not hungry. We are not hungry people. Bro, as I speak to you now, do I look like I'm hungry? What will I want to do with 50 million naira? So it's not going to work. We are all determined to make sure that the party in the states is resuscitated.
People of the fountain.